Hello, YouTube! Today, we are reacting to the most infamous VTubers by Royalty is here. I'm here with the chat. You see the boys? Okay. A bit, No! Don't take my hair! Why? I'm trying to do a YouTube intro. But if you want to, like, join in on these reacts, I stream semi-regularly, 10 a.m. some days, usually closer to the weekends. Like, my most common days apparently are Friday and Sunday these days. That being said, let's turn off the music and start the react.
So, VTubers.
Alright, let's turn down the volume a little bit.
You know, the anime-looking things that come in many forms, of there being a VTuber based on almost every animal, every mythical beast, and now apparently every food item, in which it is still being debated if these so-called food tubers count as actual VTubers, and if that is true, that means that the first ever VTuber was the annoying orange.
I would say, that they're VTubers. I mean, it's kind of like all the same, if you think about it. It's all the same face tracking. It's not the same face tracking, but like, it's an animated face puppet, I would say. So I think they count. Maybe there needs to be a distinction. Don't care. Hello, if your mouth is there, I think there may be room for talk, but I don't care much, right? Yeah, I don't think it matters. It's not like an animated puppet. Well, but like, what was I going? I don't think it should be so divisive. Maybe there should be a distinction between like anime aesthetic and like, you know, everything else. But let's digress. Annoying Orange is the original primordial VTuber, though. I will say that.
So do with that information what you will. But it's been some time since I've spoken about VTubers. I've been off this black tar heroin for months now, and it's time to relapse again. Yes, it's time to talk about the virtual content creators where most female avatars in the space have proportions that either defy the laws of physics or look like something straight out of My 300-Pound Life, where most of the calories are predominantly stored in their chest. It's getting to the point now where I'm beginning to wonder if these VTubers are taking a page out of a specific type of fairies book.
That actually goes kind of hard, though. I like
Not the pyro! Ah! No, pyrocynical. Oh, yeah, but, I think some VTubers definitely go a little far with the ginormous Hongala Jongas. Yeah, you know what I mean. There comes a point where it's just too much. PTSD. I'm not from Page. I'm not nobody. But
and stereotypically, they are very insistent they don't have a significant other, which is a tale as old as time. Oh, that male voice you had in the background? That didn't happen. That was just you hallucinating. Now make sure your
that's her brother. Dude, that's her cousin. That's not her boyfriend. She doesn't have a boyfriend. Done your
homework on the fan-made VTubing ovulation tracker, which was created based on the offhand comments the VTubers had made, which helped them calculate the exact day that VTuber had their period.
They posted tweets of me saying, "Ow, my tummy hurts, tummy hurt." Guys, that is me preeing a fat dookie. Like, that is me preeing a dump.
Note to self, do not piss off a VTuber fan or I might be involuntarily added to the male fertility tracker. But VTubing has come a long way since it first started. From what most thought initially would have been a passing trend, to in the current day cementing itself on the internet as a genre of content that is here to stay. And it's easier than ever to become a VTuber if you can afford the price of a down payment on a house, if you want a deep...
It's a little bit expensive. Yeah, VTubing is really expensive. So cool, I wish they were good. Yeah, exactly. It just... The unfortunate thing about VTubing is that the anonymity is a double-edged sword. Because, some people are gonna abuse that anonymity, as you're about to see. some people will absolutely abuse their anonymity to do not good things. You guys are about to see. But yeah, expensive hobby.
Decent model. It's almost got to the point where they are putting the fairies to shame with these prices. And that's probably because with VTubing being so popular now, it's also led to a rise in things related to it, like the price of commissions, and things like controversies, probably due to there being so many VTubers now and such a variety of personalities, to say the least.
No.
Listen up, Nick.
No.
Bridging.
Go, Pippa, go.
No.
OpenAI said.
No.
So let me explain how.
This won't get me in trouble, will it?
Into strategic reserve, on-chain, hyperbridge protocol.
Is this a joke? No.
But with there being so many
course.
VTubers now and it being more accessible than ever, essentially meaning almost anyone can become a VTuber nowadays, and because of this it would only be natural for controversies to occur within the space, and there has been quite a lot just these past few years alone. From VTubers having quarrels with their own
Right, not to... Because it's such like a... There's a lot of girls in VTubing, obviously. There's gonna be mean girl shit, you know? I'm not being a fucking misogynist, I swear. It's just kind of like how girl friendships work. I know I don't sound qualified to speak on it, but I do know that girls are oftentimes not very direct. So there's, of course, a lot of mean girl drama happening all the time. I wonder how much of that we'll see in this video.
own communities, to an entire library's worth of Google Docs being published exposing other VTubers. I'm still hoping one day we move away from Google Docs and format exposes in Excel spreadsheets instead, to major corporations built around VTubing crumbling to the ground. But today I wanted to look at some VTubers that behind the guise of an avatar said or did some things that either destroyed the platform they had, or after everything was said and done, their name would only be regarded with infamy, or in one case would end with someone being arrested. But who are these VTubers and what did they do?
I don't know if I know about that.
Have you ever stopped to think those cute
I know that name.
VTubers you watch might be more than just entertaining digital personalities? What if I told you they're actually part of a government conspiracy to convince the public that women are real?
So obviously we are going to start with a gentle pegging and then slowly work our way up, with the first VTuber on this list possibly being the most tame in comparison to the others.
The
Cha-Cha
most
Tiller is
tame?
a small self-proclaimed prince.
This is a recurring name. I'm not up to date with the drama. Like, I barely even know what she did. But, like, I just know that she is a name.
There's VTuber that has the appearance of a chinchilla, which is like a fat rat.
Probably.
But even though they were small in size, they would cause a drama that would blow up and make their name known throughout the internet, all down to, in my opinion, the most petty reason. And looking at their track record, it might be safe to say they are the Amber Heard of VTubing. So around November 2025, there was a Minecraft server known as the SVASMP, named after the SOX agency, which is a VTubing agency with multiple talents. But despite not being a part of the agency, Cha-Cha and a bunch of other VTubers were welcome to join the server. And the server was known to be heavily roleplay orientated, where the VTubers would take on characters and interact with each other as said characters. Think of it like a more casual version of GTA RP.
Well, I do miss you.
Miss you too, baby, but yeah.
Okay. I hope it's not too long, because I don't want to wait too long to have sex.
It's gonna be 7 days.
7 days?
Things on the Minecraft server were rather peaceful. It was just a bunch of big...
You guys know about that GTA 5 RP story of like the married couple cheating in GTA 5 RP? But the Minecraft stuff sounds fun, honestly. Like, I think I would like to take part in something like that, but that's just because I love Minecraft and I can play Minecraft like all the time. But over like, so this drama stems from like a Minecraft roleplay.
and small VTubers
First contract.
role-playing and
I don't
having
think
fun.
so.
But obviously, things wouldn't
I
be
mind
that
my own
way
business.
for long. On the 18th of November, Chiller would make a public tweet they would later delete, calling out the SOX VTuber agency and members
that's
of the
right.
agency such as Flock and
I do kind of
Ad-Free,
remember that.
claiming that these parties were essentially endorsing ableism and making light of hair disability, and she would attach a 3-second clip to that tweet where there was a role-playing event months prior to this involving a team going against another team, and one of the members of the team going against Cha-Cha Chiller's team referred to them as inferior.
Almost died in the first like 2 minutes.
They're inferior, we're just better. That's what they're saying there.
Cha-Cha also claimed that when she tried to talk about this to
Bruh, it's roleplay, for one. For two, odds are they don't even know you're freaking disabled. So, there's just like a 0.01% chance that they're actually being ableist. And it's roleplay. Come on.
Flock, he would block her and tell her not to bring up personal issues with his talent. Now, immediately off rip, people were not on her side, and that post would actually
she's
get
clout
quickly
chasing.
community noted, saying she was wrong. Because not only was this event months ago, and she was only bringing this up now, but it was also a bit of a stretch to call people ableist for saying this and assuming she was the one targeted
Just
out
clout
of
chasing.
everyone else on her team. Eventually, Flock, one of the people called out in the post, would respond, saying they already spoke about this, a group actually reviewed this claim and found no wrongdoing, and he had already told her not to contact him anymore. She would then respond to this saying, actually, you didn't tell me to stop messaging you, and then leaks DMs showing messages that clearly showed him saying he was uncomfortable talking to her. All in all, people just thought she was
Dumb,
bringing
she's
this
clout
up
chasing.
for no reason or to simply cause drama or be a victim, especially after the situation was
that.
looked at and reviewed months ago.
It's totally just to like get her name on the big screen. Just it's something that probably happened, and then like later she's like, oh my god, this was an opportunity. Why didn't I like capitalize on this? Yee. But still.
But apparently it's not the only time she did something like this, because they apparently had multiple VTubing personas. When they were first in the Ancheries, they apparently did the same thing there and was claimed to harass people. Then they moved on to Bunny Alisu, which had even worse allegations like doxing and revenge porn. And after all of that, they eventually became Cha-Cha Chiller. But by this point, nobody believed Cha-Cha, and she would have.
That's always the red flag. Is like, it's not NSFW in the way you think. That's what revenge, like, P word usually means. Corn, that people usually say to censor. I guess we'll do that too. That's just easier.
Apologize. She then claims she's going to the hospital, providing a picture of which many would claim was fake, and she wouldn't provide verification when asked. She then goes on to try and prove that the people making accusations about her previous personas, specifically the VTuber Apollo, claiming they are lying, but with all the screenshots provided, some were thought to be fake. To this day, months later, she is still claiming to be a victim, still talking about the situation, and still obtaining community notes like they were on a fire sale.
Oh, yep, this is Gunpie.
You're my little
So Gunpie is a name
Oh,
that is
she
somewhat well-known
straight up
within
said
the
it,
VTuber
huh?
community, but not for a good reason. She's someone we spoke about before, like a year ago, but obviously things got a lot worse since then, like a lot worse. But if you don't know Gunpie...
Is there a new update? This girl is known for, like, parasocial maxing, like, straight up milking her parasocial fans. Oh yeah, you heard her. It was censored, but she straight up said the F slur for you know, gay people. I'm not gonna say it, even though I got the pass. But yeah, this girl was known for a lot. She was freaking wishy-washy, like, just a lot. I think he'll rehash it all.
I was a VTuber that was just a bit unhinged.
Dumb stuff.
I fucking hate streaming. I fucking hate streaming and VTubing. I hate VTubers.
Then why are you doing it?
VTubers have ruined my life.
Oh, that's right. She does it for the money. Oh, what was that lag for? Wasn't my phone, was it? I don't see any dropped frames. VTube Studio has been lagging for me for some reason. I gotta figure out why. But, she uses it as income. She freaking, like I said, milks parasocials to the utmost. Like, if you got banned, you could pay, like, it was either $1,000 or several $100s to get unbanned. Like, if you know what Findom is, she was like one step below that. Like, just before it getting to that fetish range. It's just financially abusing her parasocials, her poor lonely guys that she shows attention to.
One funny female VTuber who replies to my tweets deserves to get by a sledgehammer. I'm gonna buy a sledgehammer on Temu. I'll make sure it's wrapped in microplastics, and I will wrap that sledgehammer around it. Well, fuck them.
You're my little.
Gunpei was a
there
dog
it is.
VTuber that debuted in September of 2024,
But
and
she's
she
also
quite
got
quickly
past
developed
lives.
a loyal following, primarily because her content was made up of two things. One, she was a so-called
the
girl
girlfriend.
failure with a mental illness, which was probably attractive to her audience at the time because they thought they could fix her or they related to her. And two, her content focused on the so-called girlfriend experience, which is a
There it
term
is.
mainly used in the adult industry, but in the streaming space it often translates to the streamer farming a parasocial relationship with their audience like
For
they are
money.
dating them.
I'm rubbing my tummy. Do you hear it?
Oh, no.
Do you hear
Please.
it? I'm rubbing my tummy.
Fucking internet.
But the result of this is often the streamer being showered with gifts by their audience because the streamer is directly feeding into the illusion that they share some form of relationship, even though the viewer probably knows nothing about the personal life of said streamer.
I would go as far to say as it's almost a form of emotional abuse. Like, you're taking advantage of somebody vulnerable. It's not illegal, but it is morally questionable. Depending on how you do it, there's a right and a wrong way to do it. As long as you make it known that it isn't like an emotional exchange, you know? Like, you're not faking. You're not like convincing somebody that you really care for them when you're just there for their money. Like I said, a right and a wrong way to do it. Twitch moment, exactly.
And Gunpei played into this hard, like, too hard. She heavily insisted that she was actually dating her viewers to the extent that if they were talking to any other female or had a relationship, they were cheating on her. And they were not even allowed to speak about any other females in things like her Discord. She also took tributes from her fans. By tributes, I don't mean money or items of value, I mean things like cum tributes.
Oh, he said it.
Which is where, you know what, I'm not even going to explain this, go fuck yourself. On her Tumblr page that has now been deleted, you can find under her commonly asked questions, a line saying her fans can send her anything, and I mean anything, including intimate pictures with examples like peni pics and said tributes, and she was more than happy to receive them, even saying she was going to archive them. You know, to each their own, someone out there is probably happy their favourite VTuber or Oshi has a picture of their cocktail sausage somewhere on their SSD. But funny enough, this wasn't what made her so controversial in the space. And I would argue that in some communities like VTubing, this type of behaviour isn't rare, so it didn't ring any alarm bells initially. But the thing that actually did make her known to the wider internet was in November of 2024.
Is it the
when
plush
a person
incident?
was doing a commission for a fan of hers making a plushie of her VTuber model, and they had leftover material, so they asked if anyone else wanted one for a price. And Gunpei saw this and got very angry, thinking this person was using her brand to make a profit and she was getting nothing out of it. Which also led to a number of public tweets shitting on the person and where they come from, but a lot of people were actually on the side of the person who made the plushie, including bigger VTubers. And the tide quickly turned against Gunpei, leading to her crashing out even more. This is the situation that put her on everyone's radar, and it wouldn't make much of an impact on her streaming career. She would go MIA for a bit, but when she came back, she still had an audience waiting for her, probably with a show and tell of their latest tribute they made after saving up for a week.
And with that kind of fan base she's got, you know they're all in her Discord server. So they just got their fix through Discord. She can... Well, what's the word for it? Like the phrase? Like, she waited for things to for the heat, for things to cool off before like re-emerging into like the wider, like streaming on Twitch again. She just like did everything in Discord while I don't know, words aren't coming to me right now.
But if she could get away with this and the comments she made, it almost looked like she could get away with anything. Any offhand comment, any racial remark, because her community was loyal and infatuated with her. And probably in their eyes, she could do no wrong. Well, until the curtains of that delusion came crashing down because Gunpei was cheating on her audience.
Oh,
she
of
had
course.
An actual boyfriend. In March of
As they always
2025,
do.
a document would be dropped by a past friend of Gunpei, showing screenshots of their interactions where Gunpei is seen gloating about possibly getting into a relationship with a guy and him playing the manager role for her VTubing career. With this, female VTubers are never going to...
So I know some of them, but I don't know all of them. I'm not gonna... Don't spoil for me, please. I want to find out as we go. But I do know about Gunpei. But welcome in, Farina's God. Happy to have you. But let's continue.
The manager that is actually a boyfriend accusation. There are additional screenshots shown in the document, like her on an alt saying she's falling in love with this person and that she bought him and...
Let's be real, fellas. Your Oshi has always got a boyfriend. Don't be a unicorn. Okay? the anime girl in the bottom... Anime girl / boy in the bottom right corner probably has a partner. But if they're a dude, odds are probably not. Because I don't. And I'm not fibbing either. I've been single for like 7 years now. Ooh. But let's get back to it.
How does that even work? But when this was made public, Gunpei was cooked. It was GG next game for this VTuber. Her audience felt absolutely betrayed, and she would immediately take down all her public profiles, and anything made or posted by Gunpei was...
Some would say, that's how the cookie crumbles. That's what happens when you do girlfriend experience, and you tell them, like, to the point, like, your community can't cheat on you. But if you're cheating on them, they're all gone.
Wiped clean. It was
you get
rumored
what you
that one
deserve.
of the fans after this actually committed. But regarding that, there's no hard evidence. There was only public tweets of them seeming distressed about her having a boyfriend. But that is one of the many unfortunate things that can happen when you feed into such an unhealthy parasocial relationship as a streamer. She did sell off her avatar for around $2,000, of which someone actually bought it, not to make a meme out of it, but to preserve it. And she did attempt to rebrand as another VTuber, but obviously with the reputation that followed her, that was unsuccessful. I was going to go over another VTuber story here, but because it's very similar to Gunpei's, I thought I'd just combine them and go through it very quickly. VTuber Elfin Psyop is someone that cultivated the same audience as Gunpei. She was known to be a girl failure, an alcoholic, a gooner, and having some very controversial opinions. This is one of her posts she was most known for.
I can't do it.
It's the Jews.
It's too difficult.
It's the Jews.
But it's all my fault.
It's the Jews again.
It would later get revealed she
No
was gooning, sending
way.
NSFW pictures of herself, and had relationships with people.
God, this is the poll. What do you call this? The poll VTuber. Jesus. Wow. Like, I don't imagine she was terribly popular, but I know some dudes, like some 4chaners really liked her. Jeez, those are, wow.
In her audience, specifically the mods of her Discord server, with most of them not knowing the other guys existed and that she was doing the same activities.
Oh
with
yeah,
them.
I do know of this
It was
one.
also discovered that even though she was very vocal about people that were not white, she herself was one of the people she preached about, and she would Photoshop her pictures to appear as white as possible and not her default skin colour, as she was originally from Pakistan and moved to the UK. It was also revealed that there were underage people.
I don't think it's justified, but if you're Pakistani, you probably hate Indians and vice versa. Okay, like they have known beef, so that's a lot different than just being racist towards Indians. Those two got beef. I say, let them beef. They're neighbors, let them beef. No, it's different. Did she immigrate? But, like, okay, so most people do that. We're not gonna digress on that too much, but that happens a lot more often than you think, Ella.
In her Discord server where they would be exposed to NSFW material and Elfin would contribute to it. In response to the claim about having relationships with multiple people, she would say she was in a terrible state, they took advantage of her, and she always told them she was not a person to date people. She'd also say she was not grooming the person in her Discord server, and then the victim would respond saying they were not groomed. And then when the NSFW pictures she sent to people privately were being circulated on the internet, she would claim at that time she was not an adult, meaning that when she was sending these files to people, she was knowingly distributing illegal material to people. However, people were hesitant to believe this story at the time because it seemed like a claim she would use to get out of this whole mess. But with this, the NSFW interactions with some of her supporters, apparently even the existence of a boyfriend, and lying about her nationality while some could say preaching against it, this would all result in a lot of her diehard fans abandoning her, and she would quickly delete everything and disappear from the internet.
She had 109,000 followers? Oh, I know this one. This guy is a
this
tool.
Is the first male VTuber we're going to be talking about on this list, and probably the only one, because once again...
Fair warning, this guy is a creep. Be ready.
And in my opinion, there aren't that many male VTubers compared to female, but just because there's less doesn't mean there's any shortage of controversies surrounding
that guy's
them.
So Nichi-sanji coded.
Was a VTuber that debuted in 2022. His design was said to be a completely normal human that cosplayed as a tiger. Now, Tora's content was kind of like the opposite of the girlfriend experience I described previously, because
it looks like my model is smiling, but I'm cringing.
In his case, it was more like a boyfriend experience.
Mm-hmm.
Honey? Honey is such a good girl. Hi, baby girl.
I would be your sugar daddy, on God, no cap, and give you everything.
He would be playing Persona fan detective. Hello, kitten. We're playing Persona, kitten. Daddy's very angry. Why are you? You didn't show up in chat today, kitten. Oh, whoa.
I hear you're feeling a bit under the weather.
Exactly. Hello, princess. Ooh, daddy's good girl, princess.
I could possibly... Emily. I love Emily so
gotcha, of course. Is that like...
Now, Tara would
that's
also
one of the
do NSFW content and was known to act very flirty towards his viewers and other VTubers. Around his 2.0 debut, in his own words, he would attempt to separate the NSFW from his usual content and would attempt to be less flirty, even saying previously he was a lot worse in an interview.
So, Starting like when I got my 2.0, I got my I started using an alt account for NSFW stuff, and on my main account, I very, very rarely.
Right, you can hear the difference between like Natty right on the mic and like just his normal streamer voice. I mean, if it's your thing, it's your thing. But like, I don't know, man. I'm not big on ASMR.
Am quote unquote down bad or say anything like sexual or flirty or stuff like that, right?
Now, you would assume that, you know, the flying he was doing on stream with others or with his chat, this was just an act for entertainment purposes. You wouldn't.
Oh yeah, no, he's not a predator in real life. It's just a character.
Didn't think it was serious or how he behaved off camera. But as it turns out, that assumption would be wrong, and this type of behavior he exhibited was just the tip of the iceberg. It would actually be much worse and result in over 10 people coming out with their uncomfortable experiences with this VTuber. In March of 2024, the first of many statements regarding Tora's behavior would be released. This was made by a fellow VTuber named Lily, and in this document she would talk about her personal experience with Tora. These two were initially well acquainted. They met through a mutual friend's Discord server, and Tora was one of the people that were there for her when she was going through a breakup. At the time, it was stated Tora was showing some interest in Lily, but there would be problems preventing them from progressing to that point. A year after meeting, there was a discussion of a group trip to Anime Expo 2023.
Right. Okay, so I won't spoil too much, but you're just gonna see like some of the most like I wouldn't say pinnacle, but like some high grade boy behavior, dude. It's just so bad.
Including both Tora, Lily, and others. When Tora heard Lily was going to be there, he supposedly became excited and started to make advances towards Lily. This included allegedly sending unsolicited pics, requesting pictures, sexual comments like how he would masturbate to her streams, and he made it known he wanted to do things when they met. Now, Lily did say she felt uncomfortable by these advances, but because of him previously helping her with their breakup and at the time having some feelings for him, she wouldn't outright shut down these advances. When it came to the trip, on the second day they would eventually meet, and he would allegedly state he had no interest in doing anything because there was somebody else he was interested in. This is something she would say she was relieved to hear, but was upset that he led her on for months prior and pressured her into doing things, making it seem like he wanted her. The two at the end of the day would go to an Airbnb where her friend let the both of them stay because Lily's hotel was over an hour away, and the two of them would sleep on the couch as they were unexpected guests and there wasn't any rooms for them. Whilst trying to sleep on different ends of the couch, it's said that Tora at some point starts making unwanted advances towards Lily, kissing her on the cheek and whispering in her ear, and at this point she was pinned and wanted him off. Unfortunately, because of the commotion, one of the people they were staying with would come
into this
check
territory.
on them, where Tora would then supposedly jump off her. The person didn't notice anything, and Tora even remarked at how creepy the person looked with the lighting and took a picture. After that night, she doesn't recount any other conversation with Tora whilst on the trip. She would confront him months later, but he allegedly brushed her off and thought she was mad because they didn't do anything. She would correct him on this, of which he apologizes and says he will be better.
Wow. Imagine being such a shit person that you lie to cover up your lie to cover up about essaying someone. Ugh.
But he still didn't directly address the assault. After this, she doesn't cut contact straight away, as she initially thought she was overreacting because of the way he reacted when she confronted him. Eventually, she opens up to others about this and realizes she wasn't overreacting, leading to her cutting him off, cancelling collabs with him and confronting him again, where this time he does somewhat address what happened. And a few weeks later after this, she would release this document, which led many others to come out with their own stories, where similar things happen to them. Love bombing,
It's almost like there's a
requesting
pattern of
personal
behavior.
information, talking the same way to some VTubers that were underage. He made a list of VTubers he wanted in his harem or to breed with, and even in one instance he sent a whole ASMR video to one of these girls. And before I show this to you, I have to give you a content warning because this is disturbing content, so be warned.
You're such a cutie. I want to kiss you.
I hate ASMR. Oh.
I love you. I love you, Zenith.
No, get it out of my ears. Stop.
Glad to become
I'm
your
not
friend.
into you, bro.
You're so skilled at art. And you're very cute. And you're very pretty. I saw your immersion bricks. You really... you really are my type.
Wow. Try not
I'm
to
glad
sound
to get
like
to
a
know you a
predator.
bit better.
Challenge impossible.
I like you. Mwah.
Tora made unwanted advances to a lot of people in the space. This was a repetitive pattern. Unfortunately, it took one document to inspire others to come out with their stories. Tora released his own document where he acknowledged some wrongdoing whilst disputing parts of the allegations, but he would say in the same document he was ultimately going to graduate, unlike some of the other VTubers I've mentioned would wipe everything and leave the internet. There is a lot more to this story and what Tora did. This was a basic summary of that. If you want a full look into it, there's a good video by Saphera on it.
That's actually the video I watched on him. That's a good one. I will try my best to link it in the YouTube video. So, yeah, go watch this video on it if you want a real deep dive on that. That guy
helped me with this.
People who play Mercy are not being even remotely respected.
Oh,
I'm
an
not saying, oh, you need
Overwatch
to respect us.
VTuber.
It's a matter of we're not even being treated as a human being right now.
Evie was someone that previously used to be a Fleshy and was a well-known Overwatch
Fleshy.
streamer, but they would eventually become a VTuber while still primarily creating Overwatch content. They were fairly well known in the Overwatch space, and they were even occasionally recognized by the creators of Overwatch, Blizzard. In one instance, getting invited to test out the abysmal dogshit that was Overwatch 2 before launch, and after getting this privilege,
good God.
even they shat on it. They were also known for being a highly skilled Mercy player on top of being very open about their identity as a trans woman, where she would regularly talk about her experience with being trans in the Overwatch space. Overall, they were a well-known and somewhat respected member of the Overwatch community. However, in the current day, their reputation is anything but respected.
I want to say some shit about Mercy players. Mercy is like real easy. The biggest thing is the movement. The movement's really fun though. I actually kind of like the movement a lot. When I play Overwatch at least.
The cracks started to show in 2022 where Eve's girlfriend at the time, Reme, had allegations of cheating in Overwatch games, being racist, and supposedly talking explicitly to those underage. Now, none of these initial claims are well documented because Reme wasn't as well known, and in the aftermath everything was deleted, so it's hard to track down anything related to this. But what apparently happened is Reme gets called out on Twitter, Eve gets involved defending her, saying the person doing this is only doing this to provide a quote-unquote gotcha moment. Her girlfriend only cheated in one game whilst she was off her meds and blackout drunk, and that the DMs leaked of them supposedly talking to those underage were all fake. Once again, this situation wasn't well documented, but it would get brought up again in January of 2023, where Reme was exposed again for doing the same things, or the same story as before was being reiterated, it's unclear, but there were actually some archived screenshots of this conversation, and once again Eve would go on the defense for her girlfriend, but this time it was collectively agreed that this defense was absolutely terrible, because her excuse for why her girlfriend did these things was because it was a coping mechanism. Yeah. The The only way someone would believe that was if you had some Saul Goodman-like lawyer skills, or if you had the ability to Jedi mind trick someone into believing you. But obviously, this did not work, and both Rei-Mei and Eve would understandably receive a lot of backlash and see a major hit to their reputation, as this was the primary thing they were known for around this time. Probably after seeing this and seeing the internet wasn't on her side, Eve would make a tweet longer taking a different stance compared to previously, where she would condemn her girlfriend's actions, claiming they are no longer in a relationship, and she would claim she condoned this behavior because she herself wasn't in the best headspace and wanted to see the best in people, and finally that she should have took people's advice, but that she will change to make sure this doesn't happen again. This response obviously didn't do much of anything. Her reputation was completely in the toilet at this point,
as it would
but
be.
it was about to get 10 times worse.
No way.
Because a few days later, a 31-page document would be released not on Rei-Mei's actions this time, but on Eve's. This included testimonies and statements from at least 6 people, several of which were previous partners. Now, there are a lot of allegations in this document, but just to list a few, it said they had a pattern of cheating involving multiple relationships. It was said they were emotionally abusive, manipulative, and regularly baited. They were also said to be hypersexual to the point where they would peer pressure or violate consent, and finally that they themselves was talking inappropriately to those underage. That is just a few of the allegations against them. There are a lot more in the full document, but with this document...
That's just a few? Ooh, sorry, I had to burp. Oh, man. That's crazy.
Being released, people are now looking towards Eve to see how she would respond. Would she deny all of this and claim her innocence, or even provide counter-evidence to prove them wrong? No, she wouldn't really do anything. She said she was going to respond, but then apparently decided nah, she's not going to, and just deleted or privated a lot of her content and then left the internet. And one of the only things left behind would be people responding to her statement.
Wow. Sakura and Alok. I don't know those names at all.
So the last story I wanted to go over is one that I don't think has been looked into much, primarily because this happened in Japan, so there's a language barrier when looking at the articles discussing it, on top of the fact this happened some time ago and there's been no new updates, and it involves VTubers that were rather small. Also, the evidence that this ties to the VTuber community isn't exactly concrete, so take it with a grain of salt. And just to warn you, I am about to discuss some graphic things, so viewer discretion is advised. But
this is totally the one, like, where people, like, go to jail and there's, like, mug shots, isn't it?
who is this VTuber? Well, it's not just one, it's two, a male and a female, and behind their VTubing persona, these two were actually married. These VTubers were Kura Sakura, who was 27 at the time, and his wife, Al Kumamasha, who was 28. I'm just gonna call them Kura and Al because I can't pronounce their names for shit. Now, these two weren't your normal VTubers. They were known as VTweeters, where instead of live streaming or creating videos like normal VTubers, they were known to only tweet on the Twitter or X platform, hence the name VTweet.
VTweeter moment. What I was gonna say is, a lot of times I'm worried, like, when I dick around on Twitter, that, like, I'll give off the impression of a VTweeter, because I don't stream often enough. Like, you just kind of feel that pressure. Like, if somebody sees your tweet, goes to check out, like, your Twitch or YouTube, and then they see, like, last streamed, like, a week or two ago, and they're like, oh, VTweeter, haha. It's the last thing I want to be.
Yeah, and their form of content was normally just posting about their lives and occasionally something about their character. Kuro, the male in the relationship, even had his own lore, where he was a fox spirit that had fallen into darkness betrayed by his best friend, resulting in him making a contract with a certain alchemist. That alchemist being his wife, the VTuber Al, who posted the same things her husband did, usually things about her day. She didn't really have any lore to her character. It seemed to her husband was a lot more into it than her, but they would occasionally LARP together talking about the darkness, how there's nothing they can do about it, and how he's like Schrödinger's cat.
It's an innocuous start. I am terrified of what comes next. You can see them liking each other's tweets, which is kind of funny.
Which is a thought experiment involving the quantum superposition principle, where something can exist in multiple states at once. But for the clinically brain dead like me, I probably explained that wrong. I'm pretty sure he's just trying to say he's two things at once, like Schrödinger's cat was dead and alive. Now these two seemed like a normal couple, both enjoying this as a hobby. Kuro was working a job that I assume from what he said was working on a farm, and Al was also working whilst trying to find work as an illustrator. From the outside, it seemed like their lives, although heavily work-focused, was somewhat ordinary and satisfactory for them, and it was about to see a big change as Al was now expecting a child, of which they were both happy to announce. However, even if everything appeared normal on the outside, things would quickly change to a more sinister turn around August of 2021. Because even though their relationship appeared happy on the outside, in reality it was anything but. The husband was talking to another woman who was an 18-year-old high school student named Kana Washino, who some have claimed was also a VTuber, but the sources cited show an account that was active in 2023, which wouldn't make sense with what happened next. Now, Kurama was in contact with this girl for 2 years. Was he cheating? It was never stated, but his wife knew he had contact with her, and because they would speak so much, the wife became extremely jealous.
That took a dark turn. 1 second. Ooh! I am sorry. I just punched the ever-loving hell out of my mic. I was just turning to grab some more water. I'm sorry, guys. Bop. Yeah, right? Is she about to go like full like Menherai Yandere? No way.
She eventually reached her boiling point in 2021, where to resolve the issue, both the married couple and Kana agreed to meet and sort things out. On the 28th of August, Kana would leave her family home, telling her parents she was meeting her friends and would be back soon. But when she didn't return that night, her parents would alert the police. Shortly after alerting the police, days later, Kana's body was found on a remote property. She had been strangled over a rope and stabbed multiple times. Both Kuro, or Sohei Komori, and his wife Al, or Izumi Komori, would be arrested and questioned.
この事件は東京墨田区の高校3年鷲野花夏さんの遺体を山梨県内の物置小屋に遺棄したとして群馬県に住む小森章平容疑者と妻の泉容疑者が逮捕されたものです。
Now when Kana left that day to meet
this is like the craziest one actually. Like, dude, the other ones were like internet tomfoolery, like just online Twitter baloney. But this bled over to like real life, like death. Wow, I was not expecting that.
There was a conversation where the wife wanted her to no longer contact her husband, but for some reason that is not explained in any of the articles I found. This conversation quickly soured and the wife was not happy. This resulted in the couple taking her against her will to their house, where they would begin planning what to do with her, with them in an interview saying, and I quote, "We searched for a place to kill her." They decided to take her to a remote property where they would kill her and then dump her body, and she would be found a few days later. Both would be found guilty. The husband would get 23 years in prison, even though the prosecution argued it should be 25, and the wife would only get 18 years because it was said she played a secondary role.
Secondary my ass. I don't think this dude would... I doubt it. I don't... I have some words about the legal system's, how should I say? Favorable verdicts towards women. Because I don't think killing her was the dude's idea. It was definitely the wife's. I think he he probably felt pressured to go along with it, because she probably went full, like, yandere. Like, oh my god.
In the murder. Now, it isn't documented why they decided to murder her after the conversation. They could have just gone their separate ways.
Right.
But the Japanese police think it was because the conversation regarding the relationship was going nowhere. Personally, I think, yes, this is coming from a professional idiot and from complete speculation, but I think the husband, despite his wife's wishes, didn't want to cut contact and instead just decided to kill her. But once again, that's just my speculation. But how do we know that this is the VTubers we spoke about earlier? Well, people on 5chan would supposedly find their names tied to the
5chan.
VTubing account, and after
Now
both
that's
were
an obscure
arrested,
one.
their accounts would go inactive on the same day. Not only that, but another VTuber that did a stream with the wife released a statement saying he's distancing himself from them after the news broke. And after this, both of their Twitter accounts would be bombarded with comments regarding the situation. That is all I could find in terms of people connecting the accounts, and in my opinion, I think it's the same people, but once again, take it with a grain of salt. The husband is estimated to be released in 2044, and his wife is estimated to be released in 2039. That's only 13 years from the time of this video.
Conclusion.
So in
What have we
conclusion,
learned?
those are some of the most infamous VTubers. Obviously, some included are significantly
Zumba in the
worse than the
background.
others I talked about, and there
Yep.
are probably a lot more unpleasant stories out there that I didn't talk about. But VTubing, as I said at the start, has got to the point where it's mainstream and more accessible than ever before. Meaning that even the most deplorable of people can become or claim to be a VTuber and gain an audience, which can also be said for anyone that makes content on the internet. And we are probably gonna see a lot more stories like these regarding VTubers, though hopefully not on the levels as some I've mentioned.
Yeah.
However, VTubing is still a form of media that isn't going away anytime soon. And despite the VTubers I've shown you today, there are probably 10 times more that are the very opposite. They just entertain and interact with the VTubing space in one form or another. Not every VTuber is the same as another, especially Chibidoki. That thing cannot be replicated.
It should have been me!
I'm now going to go listen to the new
That's
Petro
her.
song on repeat. Yes, I just put you on an absolute masterpiece of a song. Thank me later. And just quickly, I have to remind you that your favourite VTuber has a significant other, including the one watching this. Yep, that's all I had to say.
I
and
don't.
Bye-bye.
Hey guys.
Oops. Well, that immediately went into what I wanted to react to next. 12 boyfriends, hell nah. Alright, so what did we learn, class? Your Oshi most likely has a significant other. We can do... Man. Yeah, anyways. Thanks for watching, and if you had fun, come hang out on stream. 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, EST. You can catch me. But, yeah. Bye.